Chapter 17, Through the Veil. Journal entry, day 17. I'm not sure how I made it out of that cabin. The darkness felt alive, pressing against my skin like a heavy, wet cloth. The air was thick, suffocating, carrying a faint metallic tang that left a bitter taste on my tongue. The journal, the one that mirrored my own, was in my hands as I stumbled outside. I hadn't meant to take it, but when the candle died, my fingers closed around it instinctively, as if letting it go would mean surrendering a piece of myself. And maybe it did. The valley was deathly quiet. No birds, no wind, not even the distant tapping I'd grown used to. Just silence, stretching so far and deep it felt like the world had been muffled. The cabin behind me loomed like a specter, its shadow stretching unnaturally long in the dim light of the setting sun. I couldn't bring myself to look back at it. Instead, I focused on climbing out of the valley, retracing my steps. My boots sank into the damp earth with every stride, the footprints I'd followed earlier, now gone as if the forest had swallowed them. I told myself I was safe. The rational part of my brain clung to the idea that whatever had happened in that cabin was just exhaustion playing tricks on me. But then the whispers started again. They were faint at first, blending with the sound of my own breathing. But as the shadows lengthened and the forest darkened, they grew louder, more insistent. Voices overlapping in a discordant murmur, too many to count. Some spoke in low guttural tones, others in sharp, frantic whispers, but none of them made sense. It was like listening to a chorus of the lost, each voice telling a story I couldn't understand. Then one broke through the chaos. It was my own voice. Thomas. I froze, my blood turning to ice. The voice didn't echo in the air around me. It resonated inside my head, clear and sharp, as if someone had whispered directly into my ear. Don't look back. My instinct screamed to turn around, to confront whatever was behind me, but fear rooted me to the spot. The forest felt different now, heavier, darker. The shadows between the trees seemed to pulse, stretching and twisting as if they had a life of their own. I took a step forward, then another, and the voices followed. It wasn't until I reached the ridge that I dared to stop. The whispers had faded by then, replaced by the sound of my own labored breathing. The clearing ahead looked the same as I'd left it, the remains of my small fire, the neatly packed gear, but it felt wrong. The air was colder here, sharp and biting, and the familiar scent of pine and earth was gone, replaced by something acrid and sour. As I approached my camp, I noticed something that hadn't been there before. A figure. It stood at the edge of the clearing, barely visible in the twilight. At first, I thought it was just another tree, its shape distorted by the shadows, but as I got closer, the figure moved. It was tall and thin, its outline flickering like the flame of a candle caught in the wind. I couldn't make out any details, no face, no features, but I could feel its gaze on me, heavy and suffocating. I didn't dare move. Then it raised an arm, long and impossibly thin, and pointed at me. I don't remember running, but I must have. When I finally stopped, I was deep in the forest, the clearing far behind me. My legs ached, my lungs burned, and my heart felt like it was trying to escape my chest. The journal was still in my hand, its worn cover slick with sweat. I opened it again, flipping through the pages, desperate for answers. The words inside had changed. The first page now read, "You've seen it. It's seen you. There's no going back." I'm writing this now by candlelight, my hands trembling so badly the words are barely legible. I don't know what's happening to me. All I know is that I'm not alone. And I don't think I ever was.